Do I really need to describe just how good Earl Anthony was? I mean, we all know about his greatness, his dominance, his legendary status in the sport of bowling. Even today, decades after he threw his last shot, there are things he did on the lanes that still nobody has been able to replicate. Now, the next closest person to Earl Anthony is clearly Walter Ray Williams Jr., who passed him in total PBA titles and also managed to match quite a few of the records that Earl Anthony set. But if we're talking about legacy, dominance and pure impact on the sport, for many, including Walter Ray himself, Earl is still the GOAT. And here's the thing, Walter did get to 47 titles, but it took him 24 years to do so. Earl Anthony, however, won 43 titles in just 14 years. Let that sink in. Earl didn't just win, he owned professional bowling for over a decade. He set the standard that every bowler since has been chasing. So today I want to break down the 3 things that in my opinion made Earl Anthony not just great, but generational, not just better than his competition, but untouchable. Let's get into it. Number 1, unbelievable accuracy. If you ask most bowlers what separated Earl from the rest, the first thing they'll probably mention is his accuracy. I don't think we've ever seen a bowler hit their mark more consistently than Earl did. Again, Walter Ray Williams Jr. comes close. He was incredibly precise. It's part of what made him such a great spare shooter too, but Earl just seemed to be on another level. He could hit a board over and over again with machine-like precision. It didn't matter the conditions or the opponent, his shot was repeatable, smooth and deadly accurate. A big part of that came from his super simple, repeatable physical game. He didn't have the flashiest form, but it was efficient and consistent, and every shot really looked the same. But don't let that fool you, it wasn't just natural talent. This kind of accuracy came from an insane amount of work, which we'll get into later. But the result of being so accurate was that Earl applied constant pressure on his opponents. When you're up against somebody who never seems to miss, who makes you pay for every tiny mistake, well, that's exhausting mentally. You know you have to bowl close to perfect just to be able to keep up. And while he wasn't unbeatable, I mean he lost in over 40 title matches, Earl was definitely one of the toughest opponents to face because you always had to bring your absolute A game. Number 2, an elite mental game. Now let's talk about what I think was equally as important, and that's his mental game. I recently rewatched several of his televised finals, and one thing that stood out immediately is he never ever looked rattled. Whether it was the first frame or the 10th in a title match, Earl had the same calm, composed expression. No frustration, no nerves, no theatrics, just pure focus. He was unshakable. If you're a young bowler wondering how you should carry yourself on the lanes, go and study Earl Anthony. The way he handled himself, the composure, the quiet confidence is something you rarely see even in elite athletes in any sport. And it's not just about being calm, it was the confidence he had in his own game and his abilities. He trusted the process so completely, he did not need to second guess a thing. Let me give you an example. Go back and watch his match against Mark Roth in the 1979 Showboat Invitational. Earl was behind heading into the final frames. Roth finishes his 9th frame, picks up the spare, and while that's happening, Earl is already stepping onto the approach, ball in hand, ready to go. Now just think about that. Most players with the match on the line would be taking deep breaths, slowing down and trying to gather themselves, but not Earl. He made it look like a casual league night. That moment tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. Every shot, every match and every situation was all the same. He didn't change a thing, he didn't overthink, he just trusted his game and executed. That level of mental toughness is incredibly rare, and it's why he was able to dominate in so many big moments. Number 3, his insane work ethic. Finally, let's talk about what might be the most underrated part of Earl Anthony's legacy, his absolutely unbelievable work ethic. He didn't actually turn pro until he was 31 years old. So how on earth did a 31-year-old rookie walk onto the PBA tour and immediately start winning titles? Quite simply, it was practice. Relentless practice. Because before he actually joined the tour, he spent a lot of time practicing and would practice up to 300 to 350 games per week, which is almost 8 hours a day, every single day. He wouldn't use pins because he was trying to save money, so he would just roll the ball down the lane and he would just focus on hitting his mark, and he did that for basically 6 years straight. That's the kind of commitment that most people can't even imagine, but it paid off in a big way, because when he finally made his pro debut, he wasn't just a talented newcomer, he was a fully honed machine. In his very first PBA tournament, he actually led qualifying and made the TV finals. He would lose that match to Ski Formensky, but he made a statement and followed that up by winning his first title later that same season, and that was at the 1970 Heidelberg Open. And I think sometimes that's what people forget, is when you saw Earl on TV, you weren't just seeing a natural talent, you were seeing literally thousands and thousands of hours of hard, disciplined work. We as viewers never saw that grind, we just saw the finished product. But his work ethic is what made Earl different and is what made him the best. So was Earl Anthony the greatest bowler of all time? Well, that debate will never fully end. Walter Ray, Pete Webber, Norm Duke, Jason Belmonte, even EJ Tackett is a name that will be there as well. These are all worthy names in the conversation, but if you're talking about pure dominance over a defined era, if you're talking about technical brilliance, mental strength and outworking the competition, then yes, Earl Anthony might just be the true GOAT. He changed the game, he raised the bar, and most importantly, he left a blueprint for greatness that still holds up today. So that will bring us to an end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. If you have any other video ideas for other PBA players and you'd like me to do a similar video to this one, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you have enjoyed what you've seen here today, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Well, that will do it from me for today, and as always, thank you bowling fans, and see you all next time.